Good morning, one and all. Today we are here to present the construction project charter of the new City Hall. And group members are myself, Ashwati Vorgis, Anu Hava, Bhavana Saijan, Sanjay Salil, and Sebin Simon. First, let's move on to the purpose of the project. The purpose of the project, the new City Hall, is to construct an efficient, practical, functional, customer service oriented facility that stays within the allotted budget. The layout of the facility will be designed to benefit the public and stakeholders for ease of use and customer service. And the purpose of the project charter is to give a description about the framework and overall approach for the City Hall project. The charter gives the details about the project goals, objectives, anticipated project risk, and establishes an assessment of risk. Moreover, it provides an overview of the implementation strategy and deliverables, outlines the project team structure, describes roles and responsibilities, and depicts the project environment. In order to make sure that all the parties have a good knowledge about the goals of implementation, the document should be reviewed and signed by the project executive committee, project manager, and the project team. The project charter also enables all the team members to work towards a common goal and helps to obtain a clear picture of the project scope and further to identify and evaluate the project duration. Next, the objectives of the project. The first objective is to recognize the requirements, then prepare cost, and then develop the schedule by listing out deliverables and delivery dates. And it can be measured by conducting feasibility studies, by taking adequate surveys, by discussing with stakeholders, planning with the design and construction wings, and so on. The next objective is to complete the construction of the project within time, budget, and with enough quality. And it can be measured by making sure that the construction is according to the contract document and by regular and periodical inspections and monitoring, and by reviewing the progress of the work weekly or monthly. The next objective is to maintain project communication and public relationships throughout the project phase. And this can be measured by conducting regular meetings with all team members and then updating the milestones to the media. The final objective of the project charter is to document and account the project. That can be measured by providing monthly account analysis to the project owner, by identifying variance from instructions in the contract and starting mitigation processes, and finally by meeting the project requirements and policies. And the presentation will be continued by Anu Hava, and thank you for hearing me. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Anu Hava and I am going to talk about the success criteria prepared for the project charter of new City Hall. So the first one is compliance with the prepared budget or construction within the allotted fund. In order to do that, we should continuously monitor the budget and progress, and it should be reported to the respective authorities to make sure that the accounting is in the proper way. Next one, compliance with project schedule or construction within the time. To achieve that, regular inspections and checking should be conducted to evaluate that completion of works are in accordance with the schedule. Third one is the proper and adequate resolution for issues. In order to solve issues in the proper way, required procedures should be followed. And the fourth one, project guidance and support from stakeholders and community. To gain support from them, updates about the project should be provided to the media and feedback should be evaluated. Discussions should be conducted with stakeholders. The last one is the functionality of the complex. To make sure of the proper functional side of the project, first of all, adequate goals and requirements should be identified. Opinions and expectations from stakeholders should be considered. Proper and enough data and information should be collected by research work and comparing with similar projects. Okay, so the next one is the assumptions related to the project. So the first one is, considering the allotted or prepared budget is enough to achieve the goals and objectives related to the project. Next, proper involvement of the competent persons for dealing with conflicts and issues. Taking decisions and recommendations will be based on the availability of data and information at the specific time, and it is subjected to change during the project. Next, qualified or expert staffs will be available or hired. Execution of contract and purchasing will be in accordance with purchasing bylaw. And the last one is that corporate leadership team of the city of Windsor will support the project initiatives and accept the project. Okay, next one is the constraints related to the project. Since the weather is unpredictable, there can be delay in construction due to the extreme weather conditions and repercussions that follow. Site is constrained to accommodate all requirements. Congested environments and surroundings will pose constraints to the availability of storage area. Proper and adequate access around the site is not available, and it will cause obstructions in terms of transportation to and from the site, as well as loading and unloading. These constraints cause insufficient parking facilities around the site. Complying with health and safety laws and regulations are another one. Public concerns and pressure from the media can pose limitations and constraints in terms of design and date. Since it is a public work, there should be constraints in terms of integration of opinions and expectations of stakeholders. So that's all about it. Next, I am inviting Bhavana to take over from here.
So good morning to all. I'm Bhavana Saijan. So the next topic is high-level project description and boundaries. So the objective of every project is to create a modern, efficient, and functional facility that will accommodate the present and future needs of the corporation and also provide various public services. So here, the project charter outlines the project scope, the guiding principles, and an integrated view of the project management practices. So in order to allocate space in the new City Hall facility, a new City Hall occupancy program was initiated, and this program created a standardized space allocation using the newest concepts in the industry, which was of high efficiency and flexibility. Then the results of the program are the next. So first one is size needs. The base building should be able to accommodate staff and services, and the other areas should provide operational and customer service efficiencies. And it should also provide space for the council chambers with a seating capacity of almost 170 people. The next is the minimum special standards. The building is designed to address issues like accessibility, which are required under the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, and the City of Windsor Facility Accessibility Design Standards. And all these programs were initiated in order to make Ontario accessible to people with disabilities by 2025. Then next is the minimum construction standards. Provision should be added for building certification or a standard equivalent to that. Then next is the building design and organizational concept. So the aim of the project is to construct an efficient, functional customer service facility without incurring the cost of the iconic building. The layout of the building is made such that it benefits both public and the stakeholders. Then a shopping counter is also provided, which facilitates public service. Then next is the high-level risk. The high-level risks include, the risks are inevitable in every project. So when we are dealing with a project as huge as this, it involves a lot of risk. So the administration has adopted a lot of measures in order to reduce the risk, and a lot of mitigation measures are also adopted in this. So the major risks are, first one is timeline risk. These are the unanticipated occurrences and which can delay the project and will push the project completion time ahead of the operating life of the current facility. And the mitigation measures that are adopted in this case are the resource allocation can be carried out in such a way that only experienced and knowledgeable staff are employed in the project. Then we can ensure we can use external resources for mitigation. Then we can develop an emergency contingency plan which can be used as a backup when the current facility breaks down before the completion of the new facility. Then next is the capital cost risk, the interest of the capital cost of the project and change due to interest fluctuations and availability of internal cash flows. These are the cases where it fluctuates. Then the costs that are taken in fixed price contract can also be higher than the budgeted. So these are the risks associated with that, and the mitigation measures that could be adopted are the overall project contingency plan can be added in the projected cost in order to mitigate the capital cost risk. Then interested costs can be minimized by internal borrowing at the city investment rate. Then overruns can be mitigated by using or including the 7% contingency and provisional features in the tender. Then separate cost consultant can be recruited during the design process, and the construction budget upfront should be identified. This will help in mitigating the fixed price overruns. Next is the resource risk. So the major resource risks are allocation of internal and external resources. These are really important for the success of the project. So allocating them is an important thing. Then there are also many tedious initiatives that are competent for the administrative resources. Next is the mitigation measures for those risks. So mitigation is done by allocation of sufficient dedicated, experienced internal and external resources to the project. Then the project governance structure has a steering committee of councillors. When the resource allocation risk arises, the council will reallocate the resources from other projects in order to ensure that sufficient resourcing is being done, and they set everything straight. So these are the mitigation measures adopted. So thank you.
Hi everyone, good morning to one and all. Myself, Sebin Simon. I am going to briefly describe about the various milestones that set towards the construction of new City Hall, and as well as the various stakeholders who are involved in this project. So now looking to the milestone chart, we can see various processes that is planned along with their completion dates, starting with the approval process by the City Council in 2014 to the construction phase in the year of 2017. During this 3 years of time, most phases such as the approval process, awarding the design team, awarding the cost consultant, schematic design, development phase, furniture tendering, and finally the construction phase has been set with a target date along with the completion date. So with these 3 years of time, most of the work have been finished, and the hall was occupied in 2018. So that's what we can analyze by looking to the milestone chart. So now we can look into the various stakeholders who are involved in this project. The first one is the steering committee. It is where they receive and approve quarterly the project progress or budget reports. They also review and recommend changes to the City Council if needed in respect to the total project budget. They also address any issues that has major implication to the success of the project. Now, the arbitrator is the person who provides guidance to the project sponsor and also approves reports at his discretion to the steering committee. By looking to the project sponsor, he is the person who oversees the business management and the project management issues that arise outside the formal business of the steering committee. He also provides support and ensures that the necessary resources such as human or financial are available to the project. The executive committee receive and approve monthly project reports and budget reports as well, ensures the project direction is consistent with the departmental section, and finally approve design decisions based on the recommendations of project manager and specialized consultant. While looking to the project manager, he is the person who is responsible for the organizing the project into one or more sub-projects, managing the day-to-day aspects of the projects, and developing the detailed work plan, resolving and implementation issues, and finally the monitoring the progress of the budget as well. He is the person who also approves all the project invoice as well. The project accountant is the main person who report monthly reports on the budgets for the executive committee, and he is the person who always tracking the holdbacks as well. The project resource team provides immediate advice on purchasing by law requirements, managing insurance certification, and finally carrying appropriate adherence to the purchasing by law as well. So looking to the project communication team, they execute the communication plan, event planning, and release media towards the public. Facilitates resource team provide technical overview of the drawings related to the functionality of the building, providing input to the building requirements and compliance during the design process, and finally providing support and guidance regarding the standard specification of the requirements. So that's it. Now I am welcoming Sanjay Salil to take his part. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Good morning, one and all. Myself, Sanjay Salil. Let's have a look at the summary budget. The first one is the construction. The construction cost is an estimated cost and will not be confirmed until the successful proponent is identified. Under the design cost, the technical design consultant's cost is included. Next is the furniture and fit-up. The city space fit-up such as flooring, partitions, HVAC, electrical, and IT requirements such as cables, computers, phones. These are included in the fit-ups. Next is the cost required for relocating the public parking. Next one is the interim financing cost. This one is the cost required to move the staff into the new facilities. Under other miscellaneous cost, the extra legal cost, public art, communications, and event costs are included. Under demolition, the cost required for demolition and decommissioning is included. Approximately 7% of the total cost required for design, construction, and fit-ups are taken as contingency. Now you can see the total estimate is around 3,44,78,000 rupees. Moving on, let's have a look at the project approval requirements. The intent of the project is to construct an efficient, practical, and functional facility within the allotted budget. For the project to be successful, there are a few objectives that are to be met. Let's have a look at what are the objectives. First one, the construction should be within the timelines and within the budget with quality. This one is identify the accessibility needs and build them into the project plans. Next one is the project communications and public relations. That is, the meetings are to be held at key stages of decision making throughout the project as called by the chair of the executive committee. Next one is the project documentation and accounting. Monthly account analysis is to be provided to the project sponsor. Next one is the timely resolution of issues. Next one is project support from community and stakeholders. The corporation of the city of Windsor is the authority who decides whether the project is successful or not. Now let's have a look at the officials who signs off the project. The first one is a chief administrative officer, and next is a city engineer, the city clerk, the city treasurer, the executive director of the information technology, the executive director of parks and facilities, senior manager of development geomatics, and finally the project manager. The project is concluded only when these officials signs off the project. So that's all about the project charter for the new city hall. Thank you for listening.